E aí galera, beleza? Estamos aqui na Brasil Game Show com o Phil Spencer, chefe, mestre, não é subchefe, é o chefão final do Xbox. A gente vai fazer uma série de perguntas para ele em relação tanto ao Xbox One, em relação à vida dele. Então, como já enrolamos demais, vamos começar.
Vamos lá. Estamos aqui, estamos nervosos, né? Afinal, é só o Phil Spencer aqui do nosso lado. Mas vamos que vamos. Vai lá, Sérgio, manda a tua primeiro então, vai lá.
Okay. So Phil, first of all, we really need to thank you about this interview. And we asked some of our viewers what they would like to want from you.
Yeah.
And you have a long history in Microsoft and in several projects. And I think you inspire a lot of younger people about working the tech market. How did your career start? What did you study? And how it ended, all so connected with video games?
Yeah, I started at Microsoft as a programmer. I came right out of a university. I started as an intern. And I mean, it's way at the beginning, but I would say for kids in university, finding opportunities to go do internships with companies they're interested in, gives them a great opportunity to try many things and find something that is their true passion. And that happened with me at Microsoft. Understanding technology, understanding math, I think is a great thing if you're in the tech business. You know, when I started at Microsoft, it was fewer than 4,000 people. Now it's like 100,000 people. So I've been lucky enough in my career I feel like I have many different careers just because I've seen how Microsoft has grown. Getting involved in Xbox at the beginning was one of the most rewarding parts of my career, and this job here is just such a fantastic top to all of that.
Great.
Okay, so now you're on Xbox. We're all thankful for that. And we want to know about the Xbox One. The console had some controversial decisions in the beginning. A lot of people thought it wasn't the right path, but when you came up, it seems like you just cleaned everything and just made it for the players. What do you think were the most important changes that you did for the Xbox One?
Well, thanks for the compliments about our work. You know, the first thing I needed to do was to make sure our Xbox team believed in the product they were building. Because, me as kind of a figurehead of what Xbox is, I do so little of the work. It's really the work of the game studios, the platform team. And if they don't believe that the work they're doing has an impact, if they don't believe in their product, there's nothing I can do as the head to make any progress. So early on, it was connecting with the teams, making sure they knew that I wanted them, that I heard them, I needed them, and getting them to make sure they believed in our product. That was easy, because so many of the people on Xbox had been around since the beginning. And then, as you said, it was making sure that the fans knew we were building a product for gamers. Gamers first. I was head of first-party studios, so it was easy for me to focus on the games. And I look at the lineup of games that we have now, and I'm incredibly proud of that.
And we've looked at to the past, but do you think we will have any new game-changing decision for Xbox One, just like the ones we had with you?
The same level.
Yeah. Every day I feel like there's a new opportunity, a new challenge, a new innovation that we want to take. This year we've launched Windows 10. As the Xbox team, we've really embraced PC gaming, where maybe in the past we'd kind of looked at PC gaming as something different than console. I know our best Xbox customers also play a lot of PC games. So I thought, what a great opportunity with Windows 10 to do things like bring the Xbox Live experience across PC and console. So if I'm on PC and you're playing on your Xbox, we can still stay connected in parties. We're building more and more cross-device games, so maybe we could even play together. Fable's going to do that, Gigantic's going to do that. You're going to see more and more of these games that are allowing the community, whether you're on PC or console, to stay connected and stay playing together. For us in Xbox, I think about Xbox as our gaming brand. Our console is the way people play on their television, but we really think about the gamers in total and all of the places we can reach them.
To be honest, you just answered like we were going to
ask
what Microsoft
I had to scroll down here.
Yeah, we were going to ask you what Microsoft had for like the heart of the hardcore gaming, and you just answered that. But you also touched on the subject of crossplay.
Yeah.
Now, when we see different platforms like the PlayStation and the Xbox One, why is crossplay between competitive platforms still such a distant dream and only in specific projects? Is it because is it too expensive, or is it for the business side? Will there be a time where players can see that dream of playing competitive? I have an Xbox and the person has a competitive console, and I can play online the same game. Will that ever happen? And if not, what are the difficulties?
It's a really good question, and I absolutely believe in a future where people will be able to play together and stay connected, regardless of what device they came on, or are playing on. One of the really interesting things about us in acquiring Minecraft was Minecraft is such a big community of gamers across so many different devices: iOS, Android, Xbox, Windows, PlayStation. And I want to connect those people, regardless of what device they come from. I'm just a Minecraft player. Sometimes I play on my phone, sometimes I play on my television, sometimes I play on my PC, sometimes I might play on my PlayStation. And I want to just be a Minecraft player and allow me to go wherever I want. That's why we're investing so much in Xbox Live across all of these devices and having the right experiences, because not every game will be appropriate for crossplay. Certain games will, certain games won't. I want to make sure we've got a service to enable that, regardless of what device you're on.
Awesome. And you're talking about some specific environments. We know now that the MOBAs, like League of Legends, they're huge. Yeah. And you guys had Smite for the Xbox. It was a huge success. But do you think you can bring the experience of the MOBAs on the PC, like the competitive experience, to the consoles? Do you think that there's something we can dream about?
Yeah, I think MOBA as a genre is really interesting. You know, kind of the 3v3 arena-based online battle arena. You know, the MOBA is what it stands for. But as a genre, I think we've learned a lot. Gaming is always reinventing itself, finding new things. You can look at a MOBA and you could say, okay, that came from, took a little bit from this genre, a little bit from that genre. I think certain genres will always be great on PC. PC is so large, like 1 billion Windows devices out there, right? So certain free-to-play genres and other things will always do really well. I think there's absolutely things for us to learn in console about what MOBA has done. You see Gigantic trying, you see Smite, Fable's doing a little bit of that. I think you'll see more and more of it because gamers like those games. I'm not trying to figure out, well, you know, do you just take League and put it over on a console? League is meant to be played keyboard and mouse. Anybody who's played knows that's how you play that game. But as a creative input to a studio that's starting something new, I think what you see in MOBAs has a lot of opportunity on television and consoles, absolutely.
That's awesome. Okay, now VR and augmented reality seems to be like the hot topic now. Yeah. We're almost living like the future of the 80s. So,
I love that.
But what I really when we see those products, I would like to know from you, do you think in the future we will live in a reality where that will be mainstream and like the main way of electronic entertainment, or will VR and augmented reality always like a niche or like something specific, almost like the experience of the arcade that you didn't have that machine but now you have? Will in the future those technologies become, do you see a vision where, oh, the Xbox is completely VR, completely augmented reality, or do you think that these technologies will always be like a separate environment, a separate technology?
No, I think you will see advances in AR, VR, holograms come into almost everything we do in computing, including playing games. But I still think there's a place for you and all of us on a couch looking at something with controllers in our hand, playing with each other, you know, jostling with each other, eating pizza together, and that's part of gaming, part of enjoyment. But the idea of being able to transport somebody through VR, putting them in a completely virtual world, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. The work we're doing with HoloLens on mixing augmented reality into your real world and creating experiences that are a blend of VR, I think is fantastic. And I've said before, I just love being in an industry that's always at the forefront of innovation. You can go back, we were like the first industry to really embrace 3D. We were the first industry to really embrace artificial intelligence, physics, now with VR. I mean, gaming is just such a great industry because we're always appetite for new, and we have the customers that if you give them something new, they'll try it, and they'll give you feedback. Boy, will they give you feedback. They'll give you feedback about what's working and what's not working. and it's just a great place for us. I love the work that Sony's doing with PlayStation VR. Valve's doing great work. Oculus is doing great work. I think we've got a lot to do and a lot to learn with HoloLens. And maybe certain people don't see this, but all of those teams talk to each other all the time because we're all at the beginning of learning. And this is not the time for us to go out and kind of try to compete with each other because you're at the beginning. You're trying to grow the market. I mean, you asked about it. How big can it get? I think it can get as big as we make it through the creativity and the delight we bring to customers, and that's what everybody's focused on right now, which is great.
Okay, so we're talking about markets now. Now let's talk about some other markets. Brazil. Yeah, we're here, so we want to know about Brazil. Our economy is not that good now. The games are at the price skyrocketing, so we're having some trouble to be a gamer here. And we know that Microsoft has a huge support for Brazil.
Yeah.
But recently we had a significant price increase for the Xbox One. And we know that it's not something entirely up to you, but what could Microsoft do to benefit the gamers in Brazil? What's your part? What can you do in your boundaries?
Yeah, we're committed to having as affordable a console we can have in Brazil. I want to make Xbox One something that's appropriate for all families. They can look at it, they can see it's something that they can afford, something they want to bring into their home. You mentioned it, there's currency issues right now that creates some issues for us, and we fought the desire for a long time. Like we said, no, we're going to hold off as long as we can. Games have kind of stayed at the price. We're trying to keep the games at a good price. But I think all of these things are temporary. I mean, you know this. We've been in Brazil for a long time with Xbox. We have local manufacturing here. The 360 still does incredibly well here. Xbox One support has been fantastic. So economies of countries will go up and down. The dollar's strong right now, which creates some issues. But I see those as all kind of, months or year, but not like things that are long-term. What I see in the long term in Brazil is a country that hosted the World Cup, is getting ready to host the Olympics, has one of the biggest game shows on the planet here with the Brazil Game Show, and huge passionate fan base of gamers that want to play. And as Xbox, we're inspired by that. That's why I'm here. That's why we have this booth. We come down and we had our press event last night, and the response from the fans was just it was touching, right? To see people who are just passionate about the work that we do. I instantly sent mail to my team. You guys have to get down here because it's fantastic. But that's, you should be proud of the role that Brazil, not only in gaming, but just, what the role that you guys are playing right now. And something, I know I'm going long, but I'll touch on one thing last night that also made me very proud was the local developers, right? Seeing local indie developers in Brazil. And I watched that, and I could, you fast forward a few years, and you could really see Brazil becoming a force in game development, not only gameplay. You have great universities, you've got a passion and a culture around art and creativity. I could see that becoming a real important part of the economy here. Your universities are great at turning out students that know math, know computer science. I'd say continue to invest in that, because in the long run it'll pay off.
When you mention independent developers, and especially developers from Brazil, with the Idea at Xbox project, you get to see developers from all around the world.
Yeah.
And can you see the cultural differences in these games? Like when you see people working from all different countries, their projects, do they have a different smell just because they are from different cultures? Or do you see we have such a standardized developing gaming that you can't see that? With Idea at Xbox, can you see the difference? Like when you look at a game that is from Turkey or from Brazil or from Peru, doesn't matter. Can you see that there's something different in game developing simply from the background of the developer?
Yeah, it's like, just a quick observation. It's like everyone plays soccer, but Brazilian soccer is the Brazilian soccer. It's kind of different.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. There are two things I'd say. One, in a history in any region, there's been a platform or a kind of gaming that has been popular. So a lot of the developers in any specific region grew up playing certain games. You find some markets where everybody grew up playing Nintendo. You find other markets, everybody grew up on the PC, doing other things. What I see when I see Brazilian developers now is developers that really learn to play on consoles, right? I find because you see the style that they're putting into their games, they're building console games that will work on PC as well. But definitely the flair for what a Brazilian game is. When I'm sitting down, I get a feel for where the developer is. I'm not always right, but I see two things. I see their history and how they grew up as gamers and the games that they played that influenced them, and then you see who they are as people, and that reflected in the games that they build. That's why, having games from so many different places, being able to live on a single platform and getting people, I encourage people to play Brazilian games. So many great games from so many different parts of the planet give you a feel for the people there and the things that motivate them. I think it's a great part of our industry.
I have two more.
Two more? Okay.
Okay. The last one, I have two more. Okay. So sorry. We want to touch on a delicate topic here.
Okay.
Like starting from the ground, that piracy is undeniably bad from the industry.
Yeah.
But when we see countries like Spain, China, Mexico, and Brazil, which in the latest reports have a high rate of piracy, a lot of gamers, and we see from our viewers, a lot of gamers starting getting in touch with, because they were living on a reality that they couldn't only afford it through piracy. And through the history of their lives, they became fans, and they developed to a point that now they are like huge defenders of genuine software. How do you guys see piracy in those situations? I know that I'm not trying to be judgmental I don't want to be judgmental of the decisions that each people make for how they buy. But we see that there's a history of people that only came in touch in a time of their lives with piracy, and that inspired them so hard. That how do you guys see piracy in that situation?
Yeah, and I think piracy is one term that can cover many things. And I think what you're talking about is somebody who wants to become a gamer and wants to experience what games are about, but maybe because of financial reasons can't afford it. And I think as an industry, it's important for us to create those opportunities for people to realize what video games. It's one of the great things about free-to-play games that have come along. It allows people, or trials and other things that we do in games, is it allows people to try and get a feel for what games are without having to pay to get in. And very supportive of those. When I see issues of people pirating games and then selling things or other things, I think then it's kind of a different business. Because obviously for us, the health of our business is the health of the developer that creates content. Xbox does nothing if nobody creates games. So when I think about the developer, they spend their hard-earned time in building their passion in building these games, and I want them to build great businesses on those games. So as a platform holder, and we look at this as we have trials, our demos, while we embrace free-to-play games, as we focus on price of the console. It's one area where PC has been so strong because so many people have it, or mobile, because so many people have a phone. I embrace all of those platforms and all those business models because, as you point out, some of those people who learn to play on something like Candy Crush on a phone can become your biggest customers later on, and we need to foster that.
So the last one is about the...
We had a few more, but
we're trying to be gentle.
I appreciate that.
Okay. So, how do you wanna tell us why now is a good time to be a Brazilian Xbox fan? What is
You're talking to the Brazilian Xbox One fans.
Yeah.
Why is now the time for them to
the time to come to the Xbox family?
One of the things we haven't really talked about is the success that the Xbox 360 has here. And I think about Xbox as all of our customers, whether you're playing on Xbox Live games on Windows, or you're playing on 360, you're playing the original Xbox, you're playing Xbox One. And I think about you as an Xbox customer. The thing I can tell you is the team Xbox, we are so motivated to build the best gaming experience that we can. There's no question about what our motivation is and what our goal is to build a platform that's built for the gamer, built around the gamer, supporting developers, creating great experiences. And I'll say, obviously we got to run a good business. That's part of being, in any business is running a healthy business. But we are gamers. We use our product. We listen to you. The feedback that we've been receiving through our official forums, through Twitter and other things, has been critical to us crafting our product as we move forward. So that relationship, if you become an Xbox customer, or if you're already an Xbox customer right now, we hear you when you talk to us, we listen. Things like backward compatibility was the #1 requested thing. We didn't know if we could do it, but we said customers want it, we're going to go try. And there's a lot of things that customers ask for, and we look at those things and we really try to build a product that's meant for gamers. But I'll say first, even if you're not becoming an Xbox gamer, I think being in the games industry, being a gamer, playing games with your kids, enjoying games and what they're about, start there. We think we have a great platform for gamers, but I think it's a fantastic, I love seeing all the kids at the Brazil Game Show and parents pushing them around, everybody's smiling. You know, that's what it's about. We can't lose sight of the fact that gaming is about having fun. You know, and there's competition and there's a bunch of other things, but it's about creating entertainment that makes people smile, makes them happy, makes them feel like they've achieved. That's the heart of what this industry is about, and we want to embrace that as the Xbox team.
Yeah, I just wanna say that I'm thankful for you for being at the games industry. I think it's not only good for the Xbox brand, but for the whole industry. We need some more Phil Spencers on the other places of gaming. So that's from the bottom of my heart. Really. So thank you again.
Thanks a lot for your views on the industry and this interview.
Thank you.
Isso aí, galera. Muito obrigado. Fique ligado no TecMundo Games para mais sobre a BGS 2015. Valeu.